Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Back again. Another Whose Fault Is It? Today, we're going to have some fun. Scrolling again, looking at car accidents because I analyze everything. Came across a cool little scene. It's probably one of my favorites of all time. If you didn't know, I'm a huge movie fan. This one by far is my favorite. And if there's a chase scene ever in a movie or a TV show, this has to be it. And I know once I show it, you're likely to know it. So let's give it a little background before I bring it up. This scene right here by the late, great Gene Hackman, also French Connection. This is the French Connection. Gene Hackman, late, great, directed by William Friedkin, the good old Popeye Doyle. A little bit before my time, but still stands the test of time as perhaps the greatest chase scene in the history of movies. Tell me what you think, and don't tell me Gone in 60 Seconds because I don't believe it. Doesn't even hold a candle to this. One of the things we could do with this scene, as I always do, is completely tear it apart and say, well, who'd be at fault here, there, blah, 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 blah. So I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get right into it. I'm going to watch it all in its entirety and then we're going to really break it down. Let's go. All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let me get myself fixed here. All right. So you just saw, again, perhaps the greatest car chase scene in the history of cinema. French Connection. Always been a fan, not because of such a great movie, because it's shot in Brooklyn, Stillwell Avenue, I believe. Don't correct me or correct me. Doesn't matter. Under the Train, I think the D train, could be wrong, but it's on Stillwell Avenue in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Another classic scene. I've been in that road many times, and I can tell you it is never that empty, if that's what you think. I don't think I got out of that road under 20 minutes since I learned how to drive. So one of the cool things about this scene, it's not just me thinking this, it's the most highly regarded chase scene in the history of movies for the 11th time I've said that in this video. But what's great about it is if you're looking at it from a claims perspective and you look at it overall and thinking, if there was no camera there, and that's kind of how I look at things, if you haven't noticed by now. So I'm going to go frame by frame, look at it, tell you what you think. If you disagree, let me know. But it's just such a cool sample and a time capsule where you could look at things in a different way where there were no cameras and think about how fault would have been applied in certain places. There's really two or three places where we can dive in. So if we go back, he's already here. So first mistake, he's going left of center. So if something happened here, obviously his fault. Going back to the camera, if there's no camera, there's no evidence other than point of impact to tell the story because it's really a one lane road. So it would be kind of hard to dispute it, even if they would pull up a map or like they like a few years ago with street delivery and you could see the directions of travel and the lanes. Pretty easy to tell if this car went left or center if there was a collision. Gets back in his lane. Pop Boy's pretty pissed. I know that turn really well. It is a pretty sharp turn. Again, it is never that empty. Packed to the gills. Right there, there's another one. So he goes out into the service road, which is a legal option. Here's the first impact that I would say that would be questionable. So if there was no camera, looks like Popeye ran the red light. But if this was a true collision and there was a debate whether who's at fault, this would be very hard to determine because the Point of impact is right front to left front, likely a 50-50 impact there. And he's moving, gets back in the roadway, does some wild U-turn, cuts down the side. I know that turn really well. That guy is too. That guy would be at fault. So Popeye has control of the roadway. He's inching out. If there was a collision there, there definitely would have been some applied fault there. He's going to my favorite point in the whole video, watching the train, and here we go. And back left to center. Oh, and now watch, ready? So he's already going left to center. The guy is in the right in the truck, in the right in making the left turn. Now, Popeye is coming around in his left while making that turn. That would be applied full. If they are looking at the street, knowing that it's really one lane and that impact happens, the damage on Popeye's car versus the truck's car would sink Popeye. The only thing that would work against him, if you look at the impact there, and let's see if I can bring it back. It would be kind of hard to prove against. I can't really tell exactly where the truck struck Popeye's car. Right there. So it looks like he hit him on the right quarter. That could be argument of Popeye holding control of the lane, which would be some shared liability onto the truck. However, he is 100% wrong. And he rolls off. So that's all I got. I figured we have a little fun with the video today. Had to pick this out. I saw it, I grabbed it, I had to analyze it, go over it, show it to you guys. If you've never seen The French Connection, please see it. I'd say top 5 greatest movies of all time. By far the best chase scene in the history of movies for the 3,000th time I've mentioned it. Can't get enough of it. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman, Popeye Doyle, William Friedkin. Absolute fantastic movie. But I never wanted them to remake it because it's perfect the first time. Have a great night.